and they needed more time, so I called timeout, and then I decided to kick the field goal. And he hit the ball well. The wind just moved it out of the uprights. And then the second timeout that I called, they were huddling on the ball, and we were thinking that it was not going to be an offensive play. And so we had guys running on and off the field, and so we were jambled a little bit. So I said, rather than get a penalty and give them a first down, that I would call the timeout. So I called the timeout and used it at that time.
Romeo, what do you think about the conditions today, and how would you describe what it was like for the offense?
Well, not only for the offense, for the defense also. The conditions were such that they had to send both teams in before the game even started. So that kind of says something there. And then when we came back, it wasn't sleeting and hailing when we came back, but the wind was a factor for both teams.
Aaron Wilson.
Hey, Romeo, you could take us through what you saw on the missed tackle from Justin on the Nick Chubb final run to put it away. And just after you guys got off to an okay start with them against the run, just what you thought of their running game and the way you guys tried to defend it there at the end.
Well, we didn't do as well in the second half against their run. In the first half, we slowed them down and really we stopped them in the first half. And then in the second half, we started getting out of position. I think guys started to try to make plays, against the running backs instead of staying in their gap and winning their position. And so that's part of consistency. If you're a consistent team, guys do what they're supposed to do all the time, the majority of the time, and we didn't do that.
And Romeo, in terms of frustration, this game seemed like at times it was winnable. Just kind of, what's your emotions with the guys like as far as how you're feeling about this game right now?
Well, we're all disappointed because, like you said, it was winnable. We felt like it was winnable, and even though it was 0-3 at the half, we felt like that we could come back in the second half and then get points on the board and be able to pull it out. But it didn't work that way.
That's one for you on Chubb and Hunt. Just your thoughts on those guys. Obviously, they're accomplished backs, but just the way they performed. Thank you.
Well, they did. I mean, you got to give them a lot of credit because I think they rushed for 165 yards or something like that. They are hard to tackle. They don't go down easy, and they keep grinding, and then on the tackle there at the end, or missed tackle at the end, we had one DB who went and took out the blocker and had a pretty decent shot, and then Justin came and hit the guy around the legs, but he was able to get through it and then up the sideline.
Christy.
Romeo, I wondered if you could take us through your decision to fake the field goal there in the second quarter and punt it instead.
Well, I was into the wind, and I know that the field goal would be rough and tough at that one, and so we popped up the punt. We call it a pop punt by the field goal kicker, and he did a nice job. I think he put it inside the 5 on that one, and so in a game like today, when the weather is a factor and you have great field position, you can play for field position, and that can help you.
And I wondered, just how much do you think the weather and the wind affected Deshaun's ability to throw the ball today?
Well, I think that in the second half, particularly when we started out with the wind in the third quarter, we had a couple of downfield passes that guys were open, but the wind carried the ball. And so it was an overthrow or it moved it off track. And so, those are plays that would have changed field position, made up putting points on the board that we didn't hit. And so the weather impacted that.
Aaron Reese.
Hey, Romeo, to what degree did, kind of similarly to that question on the other side of the ball, what degree did the weather kind of impact to how much you guys could sell out against the run and lead to kind of some of that success in the first half against the run?
Well, you know what? I don't know that we were selling out. It was just in the first half, I thought that we did our job better after that first series. We did our job better, and then we were able to stop the run. And then in the second half, we knew that they were going to run it, and so guys started trying to make plays and got out of position, and they took advantage of it.
Brian Smith.
Romeo, there was a fourth down situation late in the third quarter where you guys lined up. It looked like you were going to go for it, called a timeout. Then you brought the field goal unit on and missed the field goal. What was the thought process there, and why make that change?
What changed?
To kick the field goal.
Well, I called the timeout because I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. And offensively, they're aggressive and they wanted to go for it. But I thought at that time we were running out of time with the win. And so I thought I'd take the chance with the win and see if we could hit the field goal. And he hit it good. It was long enough, but the wind moved it out of the uprights. And so it ended up being a miss.
Matt Musil.
Romeo, why not try up tempo more? It seems like it sparks the offense every time you've tried it this season.
Well, yeah, sometimes it does, but if you go up tempo all the time, the defense, they kind of get used to it and get into a rhythm. They get into that up tempo rhythm. And then sometimes I think that we want to know what the defense is going to line up in and kind of have an idea about what they're going to do. And so sometimes when you go up tempo, you don't have that idea of what they're going to do because they're mulling around and they're doing stuff that maybe you don't expect them to do. And so we slow it down so that everybody can be on the same page about how we want to operate a particular play call.
When Chubb made that long run to basically end the game, there was a close shot on TV of JJ just shaking his head. What was the attitude when you got into the locker room?
Well, we were all disappointed that we didn't win the game and that we didn't play better in the second half because we felt like that it was a winnable game at halftime. And then we didn't play as well in the second half, and they won the game.
Thank you.
We have time for two more. Terrence.
Romeo?
Yes.
Hey, can you talk a little bit about just the frustration of not being able to, complete a game like that? I mean, a game like you said, it was very winnable. I mean, that you guys played well enough to win, but I mean, at the end, you just didn't make the plays.
Well, it's frustrating, because the guys work very hard all week preparing for games, and they play hard during the game, and so when you don't win, it's frustrating. We don't like to lose, we want to win, and they try to win. And so when you don't, you're disappointed. And so we're disappointed about the outcome of this game.
Last question for Aaron Wilson.
Romeo, did you guys have any injuries, whether it was J.J. Watt, Duke Johnson, or any of the linebackers? Did you guys come out with this with some new injuries?
Well, I mean, there were guys who got banged up. A couple guys came out and then went back into the game, and I haven't heard about any major injuries as of now.
Thank you.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, Romeo.
Came back out after it had rained so much. Did it affect you guys on the field conditions?
No, I don't think it did. They actually they did a great job here in Cleveland keeping the field right. You could tell that the inside the hashes were replaced before the game, so the field was in good shape.
What do you think about just the delay? Did that throw you off at all for you guys to go in and have to wait 35 minutes to start?
I don't think so. I mean, that's part of it. We're all professionals. I mean, we don't like the delay, especially after the anthem and the hail. It was kind of juices were flowing pretty high, got people going. It was a different situation to start the game. But again, like we're professionals and ready to go whenever.
Aaron Wilson.
Hey, Nick, your thoughts on Myles Garrett? I know he obviously usually lines up outside, but just in general, your thoughts on Myles?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt he's a good player. If people say differently, they'd be lying. Great bend, great balance, strength. And again, I'm on the inside though. I only saw him a couple times on some games.
And How did you feel like Duke played? Did you feel like he gave you guys a spark?
Absolutely. I mean, Duke always runs hard, so he's always fun. Whether it's Duke, David, CJ, I mean, Buddy, whoever runs the ball, they run hard here. That's why they're Texans.
Cody Stutes.
Nick, you guys had a much better rushing attack last year. You've brought back a lot of the same offensive linemen, a lot of the same pieces on offense. What's different from last year to this year that you guys haven't been able to get it going on the ground as regularly as last year?
I'm not exactly sure. I thought we ran the ball better today, especially these conditions when people know you're going to run the ball. Again, Duke ran hard, and you just got to look at the tape and the O lines. We're playing as a unit. We're having guys back, and we're grinding out every game.
Mark Berman.
Nick, as you described the mood, the atmosphere around you and your teammates in the locker room after a game that was clearly winnable and you couldn't get it done.
No one likes losing, so no one's happy right now. There's no doubt about that. Everyone here knows what it's like to win. We hate the taste of losing.